Right. Good morning again, brothers and sisters. Lovely to see you. Good morning online, everybody. I know my good wife is not feeling well today, but she's watching me online, so I still have to behave myself. I'd like to start with a little story about Hayashi-san and Raymond-san. Whenever I was asked to do a sermon by Mr. Hayashi, I would already know the topic of the sermon because I love Hayashi-san, he loves me, and our unity led to the fact that we knew what each other was thinking, basically. Would you agree, Hayashi-san? He didn't like talking. I love talking. So whenever there was a public event, he'd ask me to come along and speak for him. Now, Raymond phoned me 2 weeks ago and said, would you like to do this sermon on the 5th? And I said yes, because I always do. And Raymond, knowing me very well, said, have you got the notes already prepared then? And with a slight sort of cynical irony in his tone of voice, as is his right. And I said, no, I don't. And Spirit World in my head said, you're absolutely wrong. You have got the notes prepared. You just don't know yet because you're too thick. So I thought, goodness me, where did that voice come from? And I looked around and I thought, okay, this is the title. This is my notes. It should be about who I am when I look in the mirror. Michael Jackson did that famous song. If you want to make the world a better place, look at the man in the mirror. Yeah. The reason I chose that last song is we're asking God for his blessing. Can we make the world a better place? Can we? And then it finishes in the last verse. Yes, I made the world a better place. It's personal responsibility. And it's sort of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Well, you know what to do. You do it then. Yeah? It sort of turns the narrative on its head into an instruction. So I wanted today not to do a long sermon, which is my wont, but I wanted to do a short sermon because I've virtually lost my voice, which is a blessing to mankind in a subtle way. But I would like you to do the sermon today, which is why I put a little booklet on everybody's seat. And just in case they don't have a pen to write on the booklet, I bought 50 pens, and I put a pen on every seat. So the one thing that challenged me was, what is a positivist title? So the affirmation of life, yeah, affirmation of my life, yeah. Do I see myself from God's viewpoint, or do I see myself from Satan's viewpoint? Our culture is very much, our inheritance is we do not see ourselves from God's viewpoint. And restoration is a struggle to reverse that and see ourselves from God's viewpoint. So I'd like to start with a quote from our true father, from Reverend Sun Myung Moon. He said, the most important thing God wants me to do is to resurrect or recreate or reform the hearts of the people and make them heavenly people. I came to bring about reformation of the heart. So did he succeed in me, or did he fail dismally? What's the answer? The answer we will get is when we look in a mirror. Yeah? How much am I united with the heart of God? How much am I united with the object of my love? How much, like Shimjung, do I want to maintain this relationship of heart from eternity to eternity. So today, I'd like you to write some notes in this little book. This little book is printed on card, not on paper. I want you to keep it, and I want you to keep adding to it for the next 2 or 3 years until it's full, and you write a new one or ask me for a new copy. Ask Raymond to email you a copy because he has a copy. I'd like to know, what do I see when I look in the window of my soul? Do I see somebody who's reborn, or do I see somebody who is faulty and full of contradiction and full of falsity? During COVID, being an audiovisual technician, I attended 10 funerals, 10 sungwas, yeah? And everybody brought out the testimony of how great they were. This person loved their wife. This person loved God. This person was a hero. This person was clean. This person had purity of heart and motivation. This person was the apple of the eye of his community. This person was the center of his family. But we shouldn't wait until we die that we put our eulogy together. We should be making our eulogy for ourselves constantly. I don't care what you think of me. I really care what God thinks of me, and I care what I think of me. Do I trust myself? Am I really the son of the Almighty God? Is God really my parent? Do I feel this filial relationship of loyalty to my invisible parent so much that I want to become an avatar, an incarnation of the invisible God in human form? Next, what qualities do I see in my relationship with others? Do I tolerate people reluctantly? Do I just wind up people and get wound up by them? Or do I really adore them? True parents were always stroking each other's hair and coming close. I remember when True Father came to 43 Lancaster Gate, he walked up the steps and we were all standing there like that, making a sort of guard of honor, looking very inhibited. And he said, come on, come close to my body. He said, this opportunity will not come about every single day. You need to sit close to me. He walked in the door of Lancaster Gate, turned right through what was the UPF office, and went into the big dining room in the ground floor of 42, sat down with his left leg under his right leg on, and he said, come close to me. He said, this experience will be the stuff that you testify to your grandchildren. So don't waste this moment. Feel it. Come close to me. So do we have a relationship with true parents? Do we have a relationship with each other? Do we have a relationship with what is invisible to what is visible? Can we manifest this invisible love, this invisible beauty, which is seen visibly in the creation? Can we manifest that in our character and very much in our thinking process? How do I define value, purpose, and goodness? You can see I'm reading from the notes on page 1 if you want to follow this one. How I define value, purpose, and goodness. What is the purpose of life? What's the purpose of my life? Am I being purposeful or am I being random and purposeless? I've got 70 years and 10. Have I wasted them or am I living them really fruitfully? Yeah. Is it a purposeful life? Is it a valuable life? True father said, I can't, son, true mother. They both said, I can't sleep. I've got so much to do to give value to mankind. I don't even want to go to bed. Do we feel that urgency? At midnight, I have a hard time remembering that. And at 5 in the morning, I have a hard time reminding myself of that. So I need to write it down on this little booklet. Yeah? Now, how I pursue a valuable life, family, society, nation, world, and eternal cosmos. Have I got a valuable life? Do I have a valuable family? Do I make a valuable society? Do I create a society around me in my sphere of limited influence, which is good or bad? And what is good and bad in the society? I think we know from principle what the values of goodness are. Yeah? At least we can develop some understanding of it. Yeah? Do I pursue a valuable life which will continue in the next world? When we change from one dimension to another dimension, we don't die, we transfer from one dimension to another dimension. All of our ancestors who've lived before us might be actually sitting on the same seat as you right now. Only sort of spiritually open, mystical people feel this. It's a little unnerving when one does sometimes. I don't know that children in the womb are meant to know in detail what will happen when they're born. I don't think people living in the earth need to know fully what will happen after they're reborn into the world of spirit. But there is a certain intuition of continuity that comes in the fetus into birth and from birth into the next world. Yeah? We don't need to define it too accurately. Now, how resilient am I? Am I strong, or do I just collapse at the nearest bit of persecution? Persecution doesn't come from others. Persecution comes from me, comes from my weakness, from my contradictions. Persecution of all religions comes from members of the same religion more than it does from members of another religion. So let's gird up our loins and be strong. Are we strong against persecution? Are we strong against the persecution that our own mind puts on ourselves, on all of our negative thinking stereotypes, which limit us from being good people and make us contradictory people, which makes us weak? Quite important. The only enemy I have is me. So if I can somehow, through divine principle, transform my enemy into my beloved, I'm doing a good job. How trusting and how trustworthy am I? Do I have relationships of trust with others? I wonder, can I rely on you? Can you rely on me? I always think this. It's a constant pain in my life of introspection. Am I actually trustworthy? Am I actually cosmically trustworthy to God, to true parents, to you, to each other, to our family? My father's school teacher said the definition of an English gentleman is a person who uses a butter knife on their own. It doesn't matter what you do in a public, it matters what you do in private. That's when your trustworthiness is actually tested. It's when you're alone, not when you're in public. So, I'd like you to spend 6 minutes and 12 seconds writing in this book. The 2 things I'd like you to write in the book, on the left, which is page 2, and on the right, which is page 3, is 1. I see these personal good qualities in me. Now, I do not want you to show this to anybody. I don't even want you to write it down if you don't feel comfortable. It's completely voluntary. But it's good when you look at this. What qualities do I see in myself? I remember in 1975 when I joined, the application form said, "What are your talents?" And I thought, oh, I don't have any. I left school at 15. I don't really know anything. So I put down, I can bake bread and I have a driving license. And that's all I could think of, yeah? My list, alhamdulillah, has improved a lot today, yeah? So it could be a long list now. Secondly, I see the following good relationships. Now, can I give you a quick taster of what I wrote down? Because I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. Yeah, you're going to have 6 minutes. So I put down on personal good qualities, I'm intuitive. I can feel what is right and wrong. Yeah, I'm sensitive to thought and feelings of others. I'm artistic. I see and I create beauty. I wish for goodness. I'm full of purpose. I'm full of ideas. I'm intelligent. My mind works well. Now, this is not a statement of fact. Sometimes it's a statement of intent. Because if you think about a certain topic, it will become more real in your mind. If your thinking becomes more real, then your actions based on that thinking will become more effective and more powerful. So what is my quality? What can I do for the kingdom? What can I do so that I am the kingdom? There is no kingdom outside this. The kingdom is in the temple, which is mankind. Yeah? I put, my body is wonderful. Yeah? It really is wonderful. Whenever you're sick, your body heals itself. It's incredible. If you just study your body, yeah? It is beautiful. The biosystems, the feedback systems in it are amazing. So do we love our body or are we ashamed of it? Is it God's divine body or is it Satan's corrupt body? Let's keep with God's body. Yeah? Why do men and women fit so well together? Because they're defined by the Creator to be together. Yeah? First, there's purpose. Second, there's the execution in the purpose in physical form. It is divine. So, in good relationships, I put, I'm loved by my parents. My parents absolutely adored me. Yeah, I think they still do. Yeah, even though they've passed on 5 years ago. I'm aware of the love of God. I'm a husband. What a proud statement. I'm a husband. I'm no longer alone. I'm a husband. That's incredible. Think, True Father was called Master. And then in 1960, when they were blessed, he became parent, not master. It's a whole quantum leap of value that jumped up from being the Messiah to being the parent. I'm a parent and a grandparent. I seek for meaningful relationships. I can make people happy, and I can bring peace. So, the people that you hang out with determine your thinking. The first person you hang out with is yourself. So I'd like you to write down on this sheet of paper, not repeating the four fallen natures, but repeating the ideal of how does God live in my life right now. Many people say my religious founder is wonderful. But the religious founder is not interested in that. They want to know, am I wonderful? You know, have I done something which has brought wonder to their quality of life? Would anybody like to stand up and give a couple of ideas about personal value and about relationship value? Who's the brave one to start? maybe I should sit down. Would any of the Wright family like to give an idea?
So as we were given a lot of time, I only made a start on it, and I've only wrote down a few things on page 1. And even the order is a bit random, but so the first one is I appreciate and ready to engage with God's love and grace, anytime, fully and completely. Then I am committed and serious about completing my creation based on God's blueprint. And then I have, yes, I'm highly intuitive and able to use this skill in understanding and supporting others. And I appreciate and celebrate my creative nature and my identity as a co-creator. And finally, I can use words and language very well, both to receive and to convey any content. So I'm going to carry on from here. Thank you.
Okay, just some spontaneous notes. Yeah, I wrote here, talking to God is easy for me. Conversation, yeah. Being interested in other human beings is is something very important, which is given to me. Appreciating other artists, being creative myself, and well, the others are not so important, yeah. So I leave it there, yeah. But I have to add, I recently struggled. Somehow I got out of tune a little bit. So it just comes on time, your sermon, yeah, to find my direction again. Because I retired recently, and when you are suddenly out of your regular working life, then you have to find a new, I don't know how to call it. Yeah, ausgerichtet, yeah. to be in the right direction, yeah. Anyway, that was my comment, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I had no time to go for number 3, but I'll go number 1, a steady stream of water moving ahead without a hurry. That's how I see myself. I can sing, I can talk a bit too much at time. I can feel and hear God's thinking, question, comment at times, and pass it on when I feel something particularly meaningful. Like I spoke about conversation with God, number 1. Serving coffee, tea, and wash dishes. I've done that a lot in Langasgate. Appreciate nature and love it. Trust my husband, children, and wife of my first son. Steadiness, ability to forgive, for fairness, intuitive. I see the following good relationship: family, Lancaster, Hyacinth, Soraya, that's neighbors and friends. I deepen my understanding and relation with God, and talk to God very normally, very freely. And when I get questioned, like recently, this week, on last Monday, I was doing blessing, and I got a question which came in my mind: are you doing this for yourself or for God? And I realized that's not an ideal question. I really have to look what the deeper motivation. And I had to admit that, ultimately, I was trying to do my target of one a week, at least one a week. And then, so yes, it was mostly for myself, really, rather than originally I was thinking, for God. But then I thought, well, do you really love, do you do it out of love for God, or do you do it out of love for people, or do you do it just to fulfill a target? So I just said, well, I admit that for the moment I'm not yet there. I admit this for myself. Please help me to do better. And I thank you that you helped me to do better. So anyway, that's one thing. Oh, and the last time I gave a blessing, lo and behold, I was starting my usual way. I pray for God to fill the heart of that person with love. And then at the end of that, I felt, oops, wrong thinking. Start again. I thank you that you have filled the heart of that person with love and to overfill so that people can feel your presence, etc., etc. So anyway, that's a new way of praying. Is a new thing for me. I have continuously to train myself and to correct myself. Sorry about that, but I just mentioned.
Just say a couple of words first from Jonathan on behalf of him. He said, I love my body. And I love my parents and friends. So he was thinking of his good things. And I said, I appreciate nature. I go to another reality. And I'm trying to think, what was I talking about? And I think what it was that if a narrative is presented, I don't just go along. I will consult my intuition. And we've been really challenged in the last couple of years. And feel comfortable with my actions on my intuitions. And well, I can't even read my writing. So I'm an idealist. Yeah, that's it. That's what I wrote.
Good. I'd like to end by seeing how True Father and how True Mother look at themselves in their identity. It's challenging. It's huge. What did True Father say constantly? I'm sent by God. I am the person sent by God. I am the one sent by God. And Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they say, oh, who are you to say that? What? What? No, I am. This is what my prayer tells me. Yeah? I am sent from God. Then the next statement he made is, I am fulfilling the mission of Jesus and comforting the broken heart of Jesus. And through my lifestyle, it brings relief to Jesus, who is understood by nobody, not even his family. Therefore, I am Jesus' family. I'm his younger brother, and I will take responsibility for the solution of the harm, the pain in his heart. Father said, I'm indemnifying the sins of the past. My thoughts and my actions are indemnity and rebirth for me and for mankind and for history. It's not just a little action. It's a historical statement. It changes history. Father said, I'm the link between heaven and earth, between God and man and heaven and earth. I am the middle of that microcosm and macrocosm, that spirit world and physical world interplay through my consciousness. Whether we understand that or not, I mean, it's such enormous thinking, it boggles the mind. But Father often said that, and the whole of Divine Principle, chapter 1, states that is the purpose of life, of mankind who becomes one with God. And Father said, my value is that of the whole universe. The value of the true man is the same as the value of the whole of creation. I mean, just astonishingly large words. It's taken 30, 40, 50, 60 years to attempt to digest those words. Now, what about True Mother? True Mother said, I'm chosen by God as the only begotten daughter. The way she says daughter is interesting. A daughter does not self-exist. A daughter exists because the parent is there. So she's stating in her identity, her relationship of coming from God. I'm not me, I'm the daughter of God. Quite interesting. God is my parent. And I've always known that since being a little girl, she said. Yeah. She says, I am, and True Father stated this to her, I am the co-founder of every organization in the Unification organization. Co-founder. So she's co-founder of the topic of true parents. She's co-founder of the blessing, because that was founded by them getting married. So they're co-founders. Yeah? I'm a wife. I'm a mother. And through my life, I'm the mother of peace. I take responsibility. Therefore, I can be called mother of peace, because I bring peace. So can we say that? And can we say that with equal intensity? And can we say that without helping her to say that with more result? So the end quote I'd like to leave you with is again from True Father. Sometimes people have a mistaken idea about what it means to be holy. It's not necessarily a super thing, but a natural thing. A singing bird is a genuine thing, and a blooming flower and growing grass, the creation that God made, is always holy. When a person becomes a natural being, the way God created him to be, he is holy. Then, blinking your eyes and smiling and moving your arms and your legs is holy. Thank you. Could we spend a few minutes in contemplation?